A Night on the Town by crossovers you didn't know you needed. It had been a long day at work. There had been a few mishaps. Flambe had caused a few more fires, then stopped them, and Phenomenon had gotten distracted a few times. Just an overlong, long, and a bit frustrating day at work. You took your headset off and leaned back in your chair as you sighed. Long day. Chase peered over the divider. Some days I'm not even sure how this team gets by. It's because you're so good at your job that it limits their fuck-ups. But they're also so good at fucking up that they still manage to do it. So take that as you will. I'm going to go home and sleep for as long as I can. You stood up just to be pushed down by an invisible wall. Like hell you are. I got plans for us tonight. Invisigal revealed herself, smirking down at you. Why did you just shove me down if I'm going to have to get up again to go do these plans? Oh, I just thought it'd be more dramatic that way. Invisigal then pulled you up to stand again. So, what's more important than sleep? A date with me, obviously. Idiot. Invisigal firmly grabbed your arm and started dragging you off. Oh, Chase, you called out. Yeah, I got beef. You go have fun. Invisigal continued dragging you out of the building until eventually you got to the parking lot. She then got onto a motorcycle. Get on. Since when did you have a motorcycle? You got on and wrapped your arms around your waist. Since now. What? Invisigal then got the motorcycle running, and you were more focused on hanging on than questioning if Invisigal was fucking with you or if you were riding on a stolen motorcycle. The sun was setting, and the feeling of the wind as you weaved between cars at far too high a speed was enough to wake you up from the exhausting day. You could ask Invisigal to slow down, but that would just make her go faster on purpose, so you decided to ask something else. You gonna tell me what I'm risking head trauma for? You did your best to yell over the wind. Isn't it just more thrilling if I don't tell you? She just loved playing this game with you. Sure, you said, but not actually loud enough for her to hear you properly. Eventually she slowed down and parked at a bar. So, do we plan to drink and drive when we're done here? You really didn't want to have to spend money on an Uber home, but you weren't that keen on risking your life. Nah, we aren't here to drink. Just follow me. You decided to trust Vizzy on the not drinking and driving. As you entered the bar, it seemed like a pretty ordinary bar except for an arcade. You were not expecting that, but honestly, it was great. Yeah, for like $5 each, we can play all the games for free. There's not tickets or prizes, but honestly it feels way less scammy than an arcade full of rigged claw machines. Alright, so am I paying or are you? You're already grabbing your wallet as you had a feeling you already knew the answer. Oh, right, well, you see Sonar borrowed some money from me and hasn't given it back yet, so I'm a bit low on cash. You went up and paid the guy at the front, and he gave you 2 of those paper bracelets that you usually find at carnivals. And you put one on yourself. Then you held the other out for Vizzy to take. She put hers on as well, and you entered the arcade. I bet I can get the highest score on a pinball machine. Oh, is that a challenge? You are not about to turn down a pinball machine challenge. It so fucking is. The 2 of you kept up the competitive nature the entire time at the arcade, though it was pretty equal in who would win. Invisigal had clearly been here before, but you had a job that constantly had you practicing hand-eye coordination. But now you were on to the last game for the night, and Invisigal had set a pretty good score, but you were close to beating it. So what do I win for winning the most games? You couldn't keep the smirk off your face. You haven't won yet. Vizzy watched, and when you were getting too close to her score, she decided to play dirty, grab you by your shirt, and pull you in for a kiss. Hey! You heard the sounds of a game over as Vizzy kissed you. When she pulled back, she looked over to the game. Oh no, it looks like I win. You cheated. Did we make any rules that said this would count as cheating? Fuck you. Not in public, dumbass. She couldn't keep the smug grin off her face as she started walking out of the bar. You sighed and followed her, but seeing her so happy did make losing feel less worse. So where to next? You got onto the motorcycle and wrapped your arms around Vizzy again. Considering it's like 2 a.m., probably home. It's 2 a.m. already? God, I'm glad I have the day off tomorrow. Not for me, you don't. I wouldn't dream of it. The 2 of you made it back to your apartment safely, parking the hopefully not stolen motorcycle in front of the apartment building. So what do I get? For what? You were confused. Winning. Oh, I'll buy you a drink? You'd do that anyways. Oh, then what do you want? How about we go inside and I show you what I want? She grabbed your hand and led you to the inside of the apartment. The day may have started a bit rough, but the rest of the day easily made up for it.
Thank you so much for listening to this audio fic. If you'd like to read it for yourself, the link will be in the description. Have a good day.